Statement of Contributions and Expenditures. We will be discussing the importance of filing the Statement of Contributions and Expenditures or SOCE, its purpose, and the effect of failure to file such. But first, let us define what is contribution and expenditure under the law. Under Section 94 of BP Bilang 881 or the Omnibus Election Code of the Philippines, it defines contribution as a gift, donation, subscription, loan, advance, or deposit of money or anything of value, or a contract, promise, or agreement to contribute, whether or not legally enforceable, made for the purpose of influencing the results of the elections. On the other hand, expenditure includes the payment or delivery of money or anything of value, or a contract, promise, or agreement to make an expenditure for the purpose of influencing the results of the election. So, what is the importance and purpose for the requirement of filing SOCE? The state aims to ensure a clean and transparent election process and ultimately expressive of the true will of the electorate. This is done by passing legislation regulating candidate contributions and expenditures and ensuring their publication. We can say that contributions and expenditures are made for the purpose of influencing the results of the elections. Thus, the filing of the Statement of Contribution and Expenditures, or SOCE, ensures that the process accurately reflects the true will of the electorate. These are further discussed in the cases of Pilar versus COMELEC and Maturan versus COMELEC. In Pilar versus COMELEC, Juanito C. Pilar, a member of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of the province of Isabela, filed his candidacy certificate on March 22, 1992. 3 days later, he withdrew his candidacy. The COMELEC imposed a fine of 10,000 pesos for failing to file his Statement of Contributions and Expenditures. Pilar argues that he cannot be held liable for the failure to file a statement because he was a non-candidate and that it is clear from the law that a candidate must have entered the political contest and either won or lost. The issue is whether or not a candidate is excused in filing a Statement of Contributions and Expenditures after he has withdrawn his certificate of candidacy. The court dismissed the petition, stating that the filing or withdrawal of a candidacy certificate does not affect any civil, criminal, or administrative liabilities a candidate may have incurred. The petitioner's withdrawal did not extinguish his liability for the administrative fine. The court also noted that a candidate who withdrew may have accepted contributions and incurred expenditures during their campaign, indicating that such provisions are mandatory for filing. The law also makes no distinction as to whether the candidate pursued his or her candidacy or withdrew the same. This is what the term every candidate refers to, which will be further discussed later. In Maturan versus COMELEC, petitioner filed a COC for the position of provincial governor. A disqualification case was filed against him for his failure to file his SOCE corresponding to the 2010 and 2013 elections. He opposed the petition by invoking good faith on the account of his withdrawal from the 2013 elections and having paid the fine for the 2010 elections. The COMELEC found merit in the petition and declared the petitioner disqualified to hold public office. COMELEC stated that under the law, it expressly provided that every candidate has the obligation to file his SOCE. The issue is whether or not the imposition of perpetual disqualification to hold public office for those who failed to file their SOCE more than once is gravely excessive and disproportionate. The court ruled that it does not see the penalty as cruel, degrading, and inhuman punishment. Congress has the absolute discretion to penalize by law with perpetual disqualification from holding public office, in addition to administrative fines, the seekers of public office who fail more than once to file their SOCEs. Furthermore, the court explained that such penalty is intended to underscore the need to file the SOCE as another means of ensuring the sanctity of the electoral process. When is the time for filing? Every candidate and treasurer of a political party shall, within 30 days after the day of the election, file in duplicate with the offices of the Commission full, true, and itemized statements of all contributions and expenditures in connection with the election, which every candidate and treasurer of a political party shall file with the offices of the Commission on Elections. It shall be the duty of every city or municipal election registrar to advise in writing, by personal delivery, or registered mail within 5 days from the date of election all candidates residing in his jurisdiction to comply with their obligation to file their statements of contributions and expenditures. Once again, to emphasize the term every candidate, since the law does not differentiate between candidates who pursued or withdrew their candidacy, the term every candidate must encompass both those who pursued and those who withdrew their candidacy. Moreover, the law employs the term shall, suggesting that it's possible for a candidate who withdrew to have accepted contributions and incurred expenses during their brief campaign. The evil sought to be prevented by the law is not all too remote. No person elected to any public office shall enter upon the duties of his office until he has filed his or her SOCE as required. The same prohibition shall apply if the political party which nominated the winning candidate fails to file the statement required within the period prescribed by the Act. Except candidates for elective barangay office, not submitting the required statements or reports regarding campaign contributions and expenses is considered an administrative offense. Offenders can be fined anywhere from 1,000 pesos to 30,000 pesos as determined by the Commission. The fine shall be paid within 30 days from the receipt of notice of such failure. Otherwise, it shall be enforceable by a writ of execution issued by the Commission against the properties of the offender. For the commission of a second or subsequent offense, the administrative fine shall be from 2,000 pesos to 6,000 pesos in the discretion of the Commission. The offender shall be subject to perpetual disqualification to hold public office. And with regards to such, RA number 7166, Section 14, along with COMELEC Resolution number 2348, applies to all candidates who filed their certificates of candidacy. According to Section 73 of BP Bilang 881, withdrawing a candidacy doesn't erase the responsibility for an administrative fine. In line with COMELEC Resolution number 10505, the position of an elected candidate who doesn't submit their SOCE is considered vacant until they comply within 6 months of their proclamation. A candidate who repeatedly fails to file their SOCE may face a penalty of perpetual disqualification from holding public office as per Section 14 of RA number 7166. That is all for Statement of Contributions and Expenditures. Thank you for listening.